Well, yeah, we're off to the store. Gonna make a run. First case I get stuck, I take a shovel, chainsaw, the old Tundra. So I just load up a 100-pound bottle. Not that heavy to put in there, just heavy to take out when it's 100 pounds heavier. So we're off to the store. Well, gotta unload that propane bottle, and it's heavy. Couple gas cans I got. Took the chainsaw just in case there was a tree over the trail. That's how I unload my propane bottle. They're slippery now. I can just hook a little strap on it and drag it up. I got to change the propane bottle. Yeah. Oh, you see the scraps I have for some butchering we done. Got some scraps here for the dogs to chew on. That should work. Got warm and we had some snow coming down off the roof. Got warm enough. It slid off the tin roof. Kind of plunked down. Makes it kind of hard. But so make a little bit of a trail. Slide the propane bottle right along. It slides along very easily. Yeah, they're pretty heavy. Yeah, just make sure there's no snow in the valve. It's nice and clean. I'm going to just get at it and change it. I always keep that little bottle. I got 2 little bottles and I keep them full because they'll last me a week in case my big one runs out and I need to get it filled. So I usually have 2 big ones and I always keep one filled, but I didn't have, so we'll get that one hooked up. Should not leak. Put a little index and we'll give it a little squirt test, but pretty tight, shouldn't leak. Now we'll go inside and light some pilot lights. Let's just put this in here. Hold it nice and still while I sharpen it, hoping that you can kind of see from where you're at there. I take usually a red marker that looks like a little blood on a tooth, and I'll start sharpening. And so what I try and use, I use a Dremel. So sharpening with the Dremel, you don't have to switch sides. You have to remember that the Dremel is rolling this way, so you want it coming up through your tooth, and when you go to the tooth on the other side, it's still rolling up through your tooth. You go back this way, it's rolling up through your tooth. Keep your angle like you would with a regular file. Generally, I think they're about 34 degrees, and then remember to just keep it down, so you know you're keeping the angle of that tooth. I don't know what degrees. I think it's around 10 degrees down, and instead of filing, you just do the tooth on this side, and then you just raise your hand a little, and then you do the tooth on this side. If it's really dull, you can kind of pull out through a couple of times and it should be good. Otherwise, you're just wearing your chain away. There is never a reason to use a file and file more than 3 strokes. If you're using a good file, you know when your saw starts to get dull, and you would just make 3 good strokes through each tooth. But with the file, you have to change the saw around and do the other side. With the Dremel, you do not. So you get the idea. Very quick and easy. I've already sharpened 10-12 teeth. I'm a third of the way around the saw. You can put a little bit of pressure and just making sure that you're keeping that angle the same as the little mark is on the back of the tooth. So the rakers, I usually file the saw about 3 times. And then I will take a flat file, and I have a really nice little flat file here. I have used the Dremel, but take the flat file. I have to remember that this is the tooth I have to start with, but I'll flat file before I Dremel the teeth in case I happen to bump a tooth. I usually use my finger as a guide there, and then same thing. Just do 3 or 4 strokes across the top of your tooth. Now I'm just touching these very light, so I won't do them properly until next time. So take your rakers down just a wee bit, because even if you sharpen your saw and sharpen it lots, if you don't take the rakers down a little bit, then it's still not going to cut, because your rakers are riding higher than what your tooth is. All these teeth run at a little bit of an angle through there, so you have to understand that. Couple of sharpenings, and take your rakers down just a little bit, and you'll be able to tell how it grabs that much harder. you'll take the rakers and make sure that you're doing, whether you're sharpening or taking the rakers down, that you do the same amount of strokes with the same pressure on every tooth. If you sharpen one tooth 2 strokes and one tooth 8 strokes, and your saw is just going to want to cut like this. You'll never have a straight cut in your log. Sometimes cut mine and they wind up at an angle. That's just because they started at an angle. But so they're just a couple of little tips there on sharpening using a Dremel, and you can zip around your chain pretty fast and get it sharpened up. So yeah, I hope somebody figures out it's just easier with the Dremel and they can do it that way, make it a little easier. But having a vise or having a clamp, you can cut a notch, just cut a notch in a tree if you want, so it's holding your saw nice and tight. You know, if you have a little power station with you, you can take your Dremel, cut a little notch in the tree just so the width of your blade, make sure you clean the teeth out a bit, drop it in, and then you can just turn your blade and it stays in the same spot for you to sharpen. You know, make sure it's fairly snug, that way your teeth don't roll. So yeah, back to our other projects. There, I went all the way around. So whatever kind of chainsaw you have, make sure you know what size of file you use, and you buy these bits. I use the Oregon bits. You buy a little package with 3 or 4 in there. Just make sure whether, you know, mine is a 3/16 chain. You get 3/16. Some are bigger, some are 3/8, some are 5/16, depending on the size of your chain. So just check with your dealer, make sure you're getting the right size. Otherwise you just destroy your teeth. So there you go. Well, we got some trees to take down. We got snow coming down. We got right there, that one's going to come down. And just over here, I got one with big branches on it. I guess I might as well take it down now. I looked at it a few times and kind of like, should I? But we have storm coming in, so little storm. Then we got clear skies, cold weather for the next week or 10 days. So we're going to dip into the -30s. So we're going to just get a load and we'll take you a little bit along the way. Oh. what they hit. Yeah, another nice little one right there. So. We'll get on up to the next one. Yeah, we got a leaner in this one, but I think it'll go the other way. So tramp me a little trail here so I can get away. I got trails over that way. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. They all dry. If they all fall, I can pick them up from whichever trail. So let's just watch that leaner up there. I think we're okay. Might be minus 15, but it's pretty warm. Here, this here nice red bark, dry tamarack. Tamarack. There's a couple to cut up here. That big one is spruce, but little dangers. Not with just the leaners, but taking down a tree. And when you cut into it, yeah, sounds a little hollow, but that is, ants got at it and it started to rot, and that's what killed it. But you start cutting, you don't know how much good wood you have. You're trying to cut a bird's mouth to get a right angle, and you might cut the good side, and before you know it, it's coming down and you're not ready. But I kind of had an idea. Sounds very hollow. So I'll get this all limbed, and you don't need to watch me because it's going to take me a little while. Well, we got a load on. Got a little pile here. Couldn't put it all on. Out of this, there's pretty soft trails yet. I've had a couple inches of fresh snow on here, and I got a load on, so I'm hoping I'm going to be able to take off. This is I just try to keep everything piled up like that, and then it's easy to find even if it snows a bit. But I got more to cut right in here, so I'll be back here in a couple days, maybe even tomorrow, I don't know. But pretty good load. I just brought the extra saw today because I knew I'd be playing back in here, so we're going to just get fired and see if we can get out of here. So that load of wood should last me, that's a week for the cabin. The shop, yeah, maybe 4 days. It's quite cold, but nice jag of wood. But I'm quite a ways to get out of here, so we're gonna just get on out. You guys have seen the trail, and if you're new here, just jump on back. You'll see I got lots of trail making in the bushes here, so all kinds of windy, twisty, turny. But we're gonna get on out, and we appreciate you guys all for watching, and couldn't do it without you. So stay tuned, there's more.